So over the last few years, I've built a bit of a reputation for being a notorious weight cutter. I've cut huge amounts of weights for various competitions. Probably my biggest one was Uzbekistan 2015 in December, where I lifted at 66 kilos, and I woke up on the day of the competition at 69.1. So weigh-ins were at 11 a.m. that day, and lifting started, and I woke up at 6. Weigh-ins were at 11, so I had 5 hours, and I was still over 3 kilos to go. So I have done it a few times, and I've actually got a video on YouTube where I go through my weight cutting procedure, which I made a few years ago. If you haven't seen it, the link to the video is in the description below. But what I've always wanted to do is take you through, I guess, the actual weight cutting process as it happens, which is what I want to do with you in this video. So it's currently Tuesday, and I'm lifting on Sunday at the City Strength Open competition. It's my first one since the Nationals last year in October, where I also cut a lot of weight. But yeah, the City Strength Comp is on this Sunday, and I'm a lot closer to weight this time. So what I want to do with you, this will be a fairly low stress weight cut for me. But I'm sure for many of you that haven't cut weight before, 2 kilos is something that might be a little bit daunting. So I want to show with you how relaxed it can be and the process that I go through. Again, coupled with that instructional video, it might give you a really good insight into how you can go about cutting weight and making weight for your powerlifting or whatever sport it is that you do, probably powerlifting, competition. So again, it's Tuesday, lifting's on Sunday, so I've got 5 days. It is a 2-hour weigh-in, as it is a Powerlifting Australia competition. And as per the instructional video, nothing really changes at this point. All I'm simply doing is eating normally, so my diet is completely unchanged. The only additions is I'm drinking lots of water, and I'm also going to be ingesting a lot more sodium, a lot more salts. When it comes to the water, in the video I do describe or explain something between 8 and 10 litres is a good place to start in terms of how much water you want to be drinking at this point during your water load. Now, as I'm very experienced and as I've done this many times, and I know how all this stuff works, and I'm very confident, I don't actually even track my water. Like this is about half a litre, and I'm just going to drink lots of them. I'm going to aim to drink about 10 of these a day today, so that'll be about 5 litres or 6 litres I'll try to go through. But again, I'm not super strict on myself because I've done this so many times. So if you haven't, I do recommend trying to track your water intake and being a little bit more meticulous than I'm being. I'm being a little bit lazy. But yeah, the next few days are fairly uneventful, and nothing really kind of gets interesting until Friday and Saturday. So I'll take you through this whole experience. I hope you enjoy yourself, and yeah, I'll see you, probably see you tomorrow. What's going on, guys? It's currently Wednesday, and I've just woken up. I've gone to the bathroom, so we're gonna check weight. You're gonna come with me. Okay, so as you can see, I'm currently 76.0 kilos, and I need to be 74.0 kilos before the week ends, or before Sunday. So I've got 4 days to make weight. My diet right now is fairly normal. I'm eating pretty normally. I'm not eating at a deficit. I'm just eating normally. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is in that final week when they know that their weight's cutting it close, they get scared and anxious, and in a desperate bid to try to make weight, they end up going into starvation mode. They end up eating a really low amount of calories because they want to, see their weight go down. And this is again one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're trying to cut weight, and this completely ruins your performance for the weekend. It runs you into deep exhaustion. You're not recovering properly from your training. You need to eat in order to recover from your training, especially in the final week. You're trying to peak, right? You're trying to remove all your fatigue and get to this high level of performance. So the worst thing you can do is not eat. And this is especially true is if you've spent the last extended period on a caloric deficit trying to make weight in the first place. So if you've been at a deficit for say 10 weeks, and then in the final week you halve your calories again because you're trying to make weight, it doesn't work like that. You're only going to ruin your own performance. Even if you're still a couple of kilos over, even if you're not as light as you would like to be in the last few days, you have to accept the fact that there's nothing you can do about it right now. Cutting calories in the last few days isn't going to help. It might help you lose weight, but it's not going to help your performance. And you're better off just moving back into a maintenance, or even slightly out of surplus, recovering from your training, and then relying on that last 24 hours or last 12 hours in the water cut to get you into weight. So, like I said, it's currently Wednesday. I'm 2 kilos overweight. I'm not cutting out calories anymore. I'm eating quite normally. If anything, I'm eating slightly more generously than normal. And I'm just gonna cut all that weight in the last day or two. So yeah, 4 days to go. Okay, so it's Saturday morning. The competition is tomorrow, Sunday, and it's about 8 AM, so about 24 hours out. So the water load is pretty much almost done. The sodium load is over. I finished all my sodium yesterday. And we're gonna check weight now. Let's have a look here. Oh, so light. Cool, okay. As you would have seen, I was really light. I was only 76 point, I already forget, 2 maybe, 1.5. So that's actually really light. A lot lighter than I guess you could otherwise expect, considering what I ate last night. So last night I had like big serve of pasta, heaps of sodium in it, drank lots of water, and like half a pizza, 35, 36 hours out from the competition. What happens is that in the last week, while you're deloading and as your fatigue dissipates, your body naturally loses weight because you start retaining a lot less water, especially while you're water loading. You're clearing out all the sodium in your system, and you're deloading, and your weight starts to drop in the last few days on its own. It happens all the time. Like every single lifter that I've ever helped cut weight, it happens to every single time, without fail. And a lot of people that it's their first time, they end up being underweight. They end up weighing too light. They end up losing a lot more weight than they're expecting. So it's really important in that last few days that you resist that urge or resist that effect. Because if you lose weight too early, that's what's going to be detrimental in your performance. It's not about how much weight you lose sometimes, but it's when you're losing that weight. And if you lose a lot of weight early, you end up coming into the competition fatigued anyway, or exhausted from the process. So what I like to do and what I recommend is anywhere between 36 and 60 hours out, depending on the person, is have a really big meal, like a huge meal, which is what I had yesterday. So heaps of pasta, heaps of meat, heaps of pizza, whatever you want to have, burgers, just have a really large meal. And it's also a great opportunity to have your kind of mental transition from, okay, I'm eating to perform, but now I've got to shift my mentality and shift my diet towards making weight, which is what we're on now. So 24 hours to go. Over the next 24 hours, I'm not having any more carbohydrates, so the carbohydrates are removed from my diet. Carbohydrates are a massive water retainer. I'm also going to continue to water load today. Again, another mistake people make is they cut their water load. Sorry, I was just checking if the microphone was on. They cut their water load way too early, or they taper their water load. No, I'm still drinking heaps of water. So today the plan is to drink 6 liters of water, but the key is to stop that water 16 to 18 hours before weigh-ins. So you still drink heaps, but you have to completely cease your intake early. So I'm going to try to drink 6 liters of water today before, I don't know, like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or maybe 4 p.m. So continue to drink heaps of water, no carbohydrates. So breakfast today is going to be like 4 eggs. Lunch is going to be like peanut butter, maybe some meat or some skewers or something. And then a very, very light dinner. So that's it for me. Weigh-ins are tomorrow. And yeah, I'll check back in with you tomorrow or maybe tonight. So it's Saturday night, the comp's tomorrow. It is currently about 9:30 p.m. And yeah, weigh-ins are at 8:30 a.m. So do the maths. Yeah, it's like 11 hours to weigh in. So I'm just checking my weight. You can all have a look-see. Try not to get my nude body. That doesn't matter actually. You have to get my weight. What are you doing? Cool. Sick. Still 1.5 kilos over, but this is good. Overnight, I should probably lose another 700 grams roughly. So I'll still be overweight in the morning. So the plan is to head to the sauna. In the sauna, I should lose another 700 grams in like half an hour, 45 minutes. It'll be quite quick because I'm actually still hydrated. And yeah, as you would have seen, breakfast was just eggs, lunch was just chicken, and I didn't have anything for dinner. Stopped drinking water at about 4 p.m. Haven't had any water since. So pretty straightforward stuff. See you in the morning. Good night. One thing I didn't mention is I've taken these things. So these are a laxative, I've never actually taken this one, Senecot. To help my bowels open up in the morning. So it's pretty good. There's different types of laxatives. Some of them will increase water into your bowels. Some will increase like muscle activity through your intestine to promote motility. But they all achieve the same thing, MTA bowels. So hopefully I lose a little bit of extra kilos through here. You'd also be surprised how much weight you have inside your guts, even though you feel like you're empty. So it's always a good idea to use these. However, I don't recommend using laxatives if you've never used them before. Do a trial run, like 2 or 3 nights out. Take 1 or 2 tablets to see how your body responds to that specific active ingredient and the specific, product you take. So I took 2 of these the other night. It was fine. I took another 1 tonight because I won't have much of my bowels anyway. And yes, good. What's up? So Sunday morning, day of the comp. We're just in our apartment. Look, it's all like plants and shit. I just woke up. It's like 6:30 in the morning, so time to check. I just went to the bathroom. The laxatives did their job. Okay, so a little bit heavy still, about 600 grams to go. The scale probably weighs about 100 grams heavy, which it normally does, which is fine. Weigh-ins are in 2 hours, so we're going to the sauna. Probably only need to be in the sauna for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And that's it really. I don't feel bad, I don't feel tired. It's pretty easy stuff really, so just a matter of getting it done. I'll check back in with you very briefly.
Alright, so we're at All Sorts Gym in Alexandria. Been in the sauna for maybe like 15 minutes so far. I think I'm getting this whole girlfriends of Instagram thing down pat. And here's yours truly, having time of his life in the fucking sauna. Okay, I got you.
Alright, so as you can see, 150 grams to go. It's 40 minutes to weigh-in start. I'm covered in sweat, so there's still moisture on my skin. Once that moisture dries off, go to the bathroom one more time. I should be in for the competition, so I think I've made it. Am I supposed to talk now, or like how does this work?
I don't know, babe. I don't have a YouTube channel.
Okay, what's up? We are on the way to the comp venue. I just went home and we had a shower and quickly grabbed our stuff ready for the comp. I left the sauna at 74.15, you would have seen, or 74.2 maybe, 74.15. And once I dried off, once I had my shower and I went to the bathroom, I left home at like 73.85 or something. So there was 300 grams, literally 300 grams of moisture on my skin and in my undies as well before I left that contributed to that weight. So that's pretty much the weight cut. Right now I feel good. Mouth's a little bit dry, a little bit hungry, but like nothing too dramatic. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this little like insight into the weight cut procedure. I guess the things that I want you to take away from this is that it's really easy, in the sense that like don't get stressed when you're a bit overweight. Like yesterday I woke up at 76.1 I think, and I know a lot of people would have been really stressed out seeing themselves 2 kilos overweight the day before a comp. While it's not ideal for a lot of people and it might be a little bit stressful, you just do need to remind yourself that it is temporary and it's not that unachievable to get down from that kind of weight, 2 kilos or so, or like 3% body weight. The other thing that you need to realize is that you need to prioritize performance over the actual making of weight. So don't put in so much effort into cutting weight that your performance suffers. So make sure you're still eating in that final week like I mentioned earlier. Your diet should be normal. If anything, it should be higher. You should try to cut the weight as late as you can if you haven't managed to diet it off in the weeks prior. So again, yesterday I was 76, last night I was 76, 75 going to bed, and then now I'm 74 or under 74, and I'll make weight easy and I'll feel fine. In terms of the refeed, I'll show you a little bit of the refeed and stuff while we're at the gym, or before warming up, but that'll be a little bit chaotic, so I don't know how much I can show you. But it's pretty simple stuff. As much carbs, as much simple sugars as possible. I like to drink honey or eat honey. You want to have as much salt as you can to replenish electrolytes, but you also need to avoid fats. Fats compete with absorption in your gut with carbs, so avoid fats. So people like to eat chips. Don't eat chips at the start. Like, don't eat chips until you've had heaps of sugar already, because like I said, fats will interfere with your absorption. So I'll show you a little bit of the refeed and stuff, and hopefully the performance actually goes well on the platform.
That's it?
Yeah, awkward sign off.
Elbows and long, get long. Stay long, stay long. Come on, bro! And hold. Belly to the bar. Rest! Hold. What you got?